everybody. Our mission here at the Heart Coherence Collaborative is to get people in touch with the healing power of the heart.
And we really need your help. Right now, only 1% of viewers subscribe. We are aiming to take that number to 6%.
The reason why we want to do that is the more people that subscribe, the more people in the world can learn the magical practice of heart coherence.
So please help us out. If you've ever listened, if you love this message, please just take a moment to subscribe.
Thank you so much.
We love you.
Welcome, everybody, to the Heart Coherence Collaborative. We are excited that we're going to be doing another 30-day Heart Coherence Challenge. And we've been thinking a lot about how we could kick off this challenge very specially. And what we wanted to do was bring in a bunch of channels to talk kind of about what's going on right now in the world. And our good friend Mike Dooley is actually writing a book called The Great Awakening that's talking about everything that's going on in the world right now. He interviewed several different phenomenal channels as part of that book, a few of who are here with us today. So before we introduce Mike, what we would love to do is just go over a little bit of what's going to happen in the next 40 days. Mm-hmm. So for the next week, we have live events every day on Zoom to prepare us for the Heart Coherence Challenge. So we really wanted to build up the heart energy going into the 30 days. So for the next week, every day there's something on Zoom. So we would love for you to join us. It's going to be really special. We're going to build that heart energy up. And then starting next week, the 30-day challenge will begin. And during that time, we'll send you a heart coherence meditation to your email every single day. And there'll be interviews released throughout that entire period with phenomenal guest speakers. So prepare yourself for the great awakening of the heart, as we're calling it. Mm-hmm. And we would like to introduce our first speaker, who is Mike Dooley, a good friend of ours. Thank you for being here, Mike.
Hey, Kyle, it's an honor. Hi, Lee. Thanks for all the great work you're doing.
Yeah, we are so happy that you are here with us today. And we'd love for you to talk about what's going on in the world and the impetus to write your latest book.
Well, it's so appropriate, if I may say so myself, the synchronicity of this magnificent event you're doing and the timely release of the book I've already written with the help of 6 co-authors, The Great Awakening. This marks a time in the evolution of consciousness on planet Earth, the likes of which have never been experienced by any prior civilization, not even Atlantis got as far along as we have gotten. Right now on the cusp of learning how to operate no longer from the mind, the logic, the egoic center, but the higher center, the heart center, an entirely different operating system. We are at a place that has been prophesized for millennia. I mean, even the apocalypse, although like most great words, that's been hijacked and totally misunderstood. The apocalypse speaks of the final battle. And the final battle that was originally foreseen, although even then it was a dark time in human history, the final battle is our ultimate emergence from the darkness, the emergence from ignorance, the emergence from using only our physical senses to assess and judge ourselves, our path, and other people. We are leaving that behind right now. Yet, as with any kind of change, there are pockets of resistance. And while nothing is set in stone, the probabilities and the likelihood of us finally getting on the cusp of awakening to the truth of who we really are, in my view, and words pale, the eyes and the ears of the divine come alive in the dream of life. We've always been that, but we've never known it. Therefore, we've been driven by fear, thinking that life is happening to us. We are on the cusp of awakening. All the benchmarks are looking good in our favor. We're going to round this bend in this lifetime and usher in a golden age as we embrace the concepts of love, cooperation, camaraderie, unity, seeing ourselves in others, in everyone, no matter their color, no matter their gender, no matter what, no matter what. So what a fun time to, what a fun audience to be sharing these ideas with.
Mm.
That's amazing. So you interviewed a bunch of channels as part of your book. Could you tell us why you interviewed channels and what kind of came of that?
My first introduction to the art of channeling came like 40 years ago. I had a mother who was deep into the woo-woo while I was a student of accountancy at the University of Florida. She was a reader, I wasn't. She would occasionally say, check this out. And then all of a sudden, you know, in our weekly calls prior to the internet and cell phones, she said, oh my God, I've just come across the Seth material. Seth comes through this lady who goes into a trance, Jane Roberts, and her husband takes longhand dictation. It's called channeling. And I was like, just stop right there. Mom, you have taken this way too far, way too seriously. There can't be anything good that's going to come from the mouth of Jane Roberts channeling this disincarnate being. And she slapped me down, said, just read what Seth has to say. The book's going to show up this week, and then pass judgment. Well, I was always highly respectful of Mom in spite of her idiosyncrasies and eccentricities. And I did as told. Seth not only confirmed my own inner suspicions about the beauty and magnificence of life, that God's alive in everything and everyone. And I'm not a religious person, I'm a spiritual person, don't need religion to be spiritual. And then Seth took it further. And from that point, 40 plus years ago, Kyle, I've had a guarded reverence, a guarded reverence. I need to start channeling for information that comes through channels. And I've used this little litmus test to discern whether or not it may be empowering and helpful. If what I hear from any source, especially channels, speaks of life's beauty or of our power and leaves no one behind, no exclusions, doesn't matter their culture, their creed, or anything else, doesn't matter where they've been or what they've done to who, if the message speaks of life's beauty or our power and leaves no one behind, dang it, it's probably the truth. And so my own journey in life through living deliberately, the law of attraction, creating consciously, putting legs under the table, realizing we're spiritual beings having a human experience, has always been enhanced by various channeled work that I have found out there. And of late, 4 years ago, I really dove deep into the notion of like, what is self-realization? What is ascension? What is enlightenment and spiritual illumination? Is there something there? And my gosh, as it always works, the serendipities, you know, when the student is ready, the teachers appear. The serendipities were unending. You know, one book led to another session, led to autobiography of a yogi, led to meeting Daniel Scranton and Lyssa Royal Holt, and the wisdom that was pouring out and how it coincided with the ancient prophecies and the end of the Mayan calendar. Hey, it ended so a new one could begin, a better one. And that's where we're at now. And that's the message I have heard and I can't say I refined, that I've combined Bashar, channeled by Daryl Anka, Lyssa Royal Holt channels Sasha, Matt Kahn channels Healing Love. I know you guys are friends with Matt Kahn. Sal Rochelle channels the founders, Sarah Landon channels the council, Daniel Scranton, who's on your show right now, channels the Arcturians and many others. And these six, and Jessie Herman channeling Vagen, I know she's on your show. These seven, actually, because Jessie wrote the foreword, Vagen wrote the foreword, courtesy of Jessie, all speak not only to the spiritual majesty of life in these sacred jungles of time and space, but exactly what is awakening, what is enlightenment, what's going on in the world that it looks so crazy? And so that's a long answer, I'm sorry, for how I've been introduced to channeling and what it's meant to me and why I chose these 6 channels plus Vagen for the book that releases next week, The Great Awakening.
Mm. I love this message so much because I feel like so many people feel like it's really a dark time and feel hopeless. And you referred to, when you were talking earlier, the truth of who we are. Can you tell us who that is? What that is?
Well, eons ago, and I'm not unique here, just like I wasn't happy with the answers that I was receiving, either from church or family or parents, and just kind of surmising on the intelligence that's everywhere, the beauty that's everywhere, between 30 and 100 million different species on planet Earth alone, amongst 10 sextillion stars. It's like, there has to be a source. And these days it's fashionably called source energy, or it's called all that is. Kind of a holding place for God, trying to avoid the term God, because that means so many different things to so many different people. Sometimes it's beautiful and empowering, and sometimes it's scary and judgmental. So this intelligence that had to orchestrate all that we experience, has to, just deductive reasoning, has to be all that we experience. Every mote of dust, the vacuums in space, if there are indeed vacuums in space, the material world, the plant world, everything has to be of the divine, by the divine, for the divine, or else what do you have? A reality where there's, omniscience, except for the lower 42 acres, that's the wilderness that's always been there and nobody can figure it out. But over here we have God Almighty. It's like it all has to be God. Yet, given our ancestors' best attempts at trying to metaphysically explain the nature of reality, they had to do it in terms that people could understand. So there's good, there's bad, there's holy, there's evil. And everything has this duality, which is a hallmark of living in the density of time, space, and matter. Yet those labels really didn't serve to encourage and arouse optimism to the people trying to make heads or tails out of what's going on here in this corner of the universe. So my answer to, what is divine intelligence or what is God? What's not? And the answer is nothing. Excuse me. Everything is entirely spiritual, sacred, and holy, which to innocent ears sounds maybe like blasphemy itself when you look at the hideous, disgusting things that people can do to one another and to animals, and the pain and the suffering that is unquestionably happening in every corner of the world right now. How can I come along and say it's all God? These are awesome questions. They're very fair questions. They would probably take your entire 45 days to answer, and it still wouldn't put a smiley face on every situation. Most certainly not. There's pain and ugliness everywhere. But if we challenge ourselves to say that there's a greater picture, that perhaps egoically and logically that we can't see the purpose or the meaning or what's being played out, and yet the same mind that thought of caterpillars turning into butterflies and 100 million other species is kind of driving the bus here. And maybe there's order, just maybe there's order even when we can't see it. Maybe there's order and even some form of love when it seems to be absolutely missing from the picture. And perhaps given the magnificence, beauty, splendor, and brilliance that's everywhere, maybe we ought to leave the benefit of the doubt to love, purpose, and meaning to our higher selves or higher minds and get on with the beauty at hand, second chances, third chances that abound for everyone. Opportunity never stops knocking so long as you never let go of your power. And I think awakening can be summed up, the great awakening can be summed up as our final discovery as to who we really are, eternal beings of light, here because we wanted to be here. It was our choice. We knew what we were doing from the zenith of our magnificence. And it's still a beautiful world, in spite the pain that we can clearly point a finger at.
Wow, that is amazing. I would love to hear, because we have a few minutes left with you, Mike. Do you have any advice for everyone in our group, or any motivation as we're about to go on this beautiful 40-day journey that you just started with the Great Awakening?
Oh my God, I'm humbled. Thank you so much. And kisses to you, Reverend Jessicka. Um, you know, you're going to hear from a lot of wise people in this program, and perhaps even today, some of our channels may have time to share with you. And they've got a lot of really cool stuff and ideas and concepts to offer. But having gone through so many different sessions, if you will, in the compilation of the book, and all highly worthwhile, if I could distill it into the simplest of lessons to kick off this coherence immersion, I would say, you know, in the words of the council channeled by Sarah Landon, love will take you all the way to enlightenment, self-realization, illumination. Love will take you all the way. And it's not necessarily about learning a meditation technique, but that can be helpful. It's not necessarily about creative visualization. It's not necessarily about anything other than just falling in love with whatever you can possibly fall in love with. Maybe your fur babies, or music, or your garden. Just incrementally, your heart will expand further and further. The more your heart is involved, as you guys teach, the more light, the more truth, the more love, the more clarity, the more ease, the more prosperity, the more financial abundance. There's nothing unspiritual about that. The more laughter, the more healing, the greater the rejuvenation. Love will take you all the way. Open your heart.
Mic
I
drop.
love that. That was perfect. And we are going to go to Jessicka, JP Herman, next. I would love if you just did a quick introduction, and then we will switch to her.
Great. Do you want me to introduce her?
Yeah, that would be so cool.
Oh gosh, I don't know how I stumbled across Jessie, but thank goodness that I did. You know, the universe just puts the right people on your path at the right time. It never fails. There's always a gift. And with her, the gift was so obvious. She channels Vagrian. Vagrian is one of my all-time favorites. She herself is Canadian. I hope I'm saying this right, but she now lives in Milan, Italy, with her kiddos. And the message is profound. Every time I hear from her as an amazing woman, or Vagrian that she brings forth, I learn something new and I get lit up. So she's an author. She runs retreats. Check her out. Jessie Herman. Google her. You'll find her website. Jessie, you there?
Yes, I am. Thanks so much for that, Mike. And actually, it was another person on this call who introduced us. It's actually Daniel who put me on your path. So we'll be hearing from him a little bit later on as well.
So cool. Thank you so much, Mike.
Yeah, and everybody go check out the Great Awakening book. Thank you, Mike. Can't wait to read it.
Honored. Thank you all so much.
Welcome, Jessicka.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we have been hearing so much about you. We've been reading about you, so we're excited to meet you and Vagrian today. So if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, and we're just going to turn the mic over to you for whatever
For
you
sure.
want to use this time for.
Okay.
So thank you.
Yeah, so I've been channeling for about 5 years. It was a surprise to me that I even was a channel. I didn't want to be a channel. I had a lot of resistance. And eventually the request, I guess, from this energy that is known as Vagrian came through, and I said, okay, well, I guess this is what we're going to be doing from now on. Vagrian is a non-physical entity group. At least that's what they've expressed themselves to be to me. And their main messages are for unity consciousness and self-acceptance, almost radical self-acceptance. So very much the path to unity is through the individuation. And we've been sharing for these past 5, almost 6 years now, and having a really great time. And yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell.
So we're going to turn it over to you, and we're so grateful that you would give us your time and channel a message for our group in this opening ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you. So it takes just a little minute to get into trance, and then Vagen will chat with you. I'm in full trance when I channel, so I won't remember what has been said, but you'll fill me in a couple minutes when they're done. And I hope you all enjoy. That's the most important thing. Good now, too. We are so pleased to be meeting with you in this fashion and are eager to discuss with you the topic of this meeting, which is the connection, coherence, the synchronization with each and every one of your internal hearts. It is a message, a theme, a directive that is quite important to us as well, as we do know that for you, the secret is to move into that heart space in order to know yourselves, to love yourselves, to be more yourselves more of the time, thereby having the experience of your living moments, your living days that is most pleasing, most pleasant to you, also the most easeful to you, because as you follow your heart, you do attract to you the circumstances and situations that do not require catalyst, that would put you in a space where you would need to remember that your heart was there, a beating living organ and energy center that is in every moment of your day, in there for you to become more of yourself and to live that life in the ways that are most useful to you. We will, however, offer some rephrasing of this term challenge, because you can see every challenge that comes to you as an invitation. And yes, this is a playful term in this case, because you do want to see if you can be in your heart space, if you can focus your attention in this direction for this 30-day endeavor. But what we would love for you to do is understand that each challenge, both those difficult ones and the playful fun ones such as this, are invitations. Invitations for you to be more of you, more of love, more of light in each moment. And ultimately, that was your only intention to come into this, what you perceive of as denser experience, what you perceive of as often a struggle. We do have much compassion for you in this perception of it being a struggle, but we also do assure you that the only way for you to allow yourself to have that ease is through that heart. We also appreciate that this is a collective endeavor, that you are a community or a common unity that has made this choice in this now moment to be here together. You may look around at the other portraits that you can't see on your screen in this now and know that you are in a situation, a circumstance in which there are many beings who have made the exact same choice in the exact same moment in your shared collective experience to be on this particular call, to be in this particular organized structure, and in their doing so, they are your soul family. We often say this when there are gatherings or groups, we often say this when there is coming together, that you are in the eyes of another being who is a stranger perhaps to you, realizing that you never have been alone, and instead you are all one. You are indeed all one. You are indeed capable of everything your friend said earlier in this call about raising the collective consciousness, about moving more and more into the world where you are making choices that are not only good for you, but good for each and every other of you at the same time. And you are ready for it, eager for it, can do it in a playful nature, in a playful fashion, in a fashion that feels good to you. The time you will spend in this particular challenge will be well spent, will be fruitful to you, no matter what your desires, passions, dreams, goals, and wishes are for your future. Because every time you do choose consciously to step into your heart, you are saying yes to existence. You are saying, yes, I will beat one more time. And with that, for now, we leave you with the light and the love of 1,000 suns. Anainai.
Wow. Welcome, Vagrant. That was awesome.
It was very quick and fast and very intense.
That was beautiful. So much taken from that. One thing I wanted to just ask you before we pass it on to our next
Sure.
speaker is you have a cool event coming up. I would love
Yeah.
just to share what happens in those events.
Sure. So I've got a one-day event in Boulder, Colorado. So on the 19th of October, I'm doing an event with Gaia, the television network. But then on the 20th, I have a full one-day event that I'm offering because I'm in town that everyone's invited to, obviously. And that is going to be a workshop, lots of Agrian, meditation and question and answer periods with that kind of rapid fire, laser sharp directive that Vagen tends to deliver. And we have a lot of fun at these events. I already did one in London and Toronto. So anyone who's interested, check it out.
Nice. And what are you doing with Gaia?
Oh, Gaia, I'm on the panel for the channeling conference this year.
Nice. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. You have anything-
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you just if there was any message from you to our
Thank you.
group. I'm sure, in this
Yeah.
experience, you yourself have learned a lot, even if it's just listening to recordings of yourself or
Yeah.
transcription.
Sure. Well, I get like the energy packets, I
Yeah.
think, and then I interpret them in my own way. So again, channel stuff will come through with a flavor, and then I have my own Jess flavor to all of this. But what I have learned over the time I've been channeling is that, and I've applied this to my own life, is that if you can start to see absolutely everything as a new opportunity to choose to go into the heart, or to, even if you have to take a step away from that, as long as it's a conscious choice in each moment, you can have this really beautiful experience of life, even when things are hard, even when you have surprises you weren't wanting. And you can be in that space of knowing that future we're hopefully heading into now. Right. So we can all, by tuning into our hearts, really feel what that bliss, when everything's working perfectly, is eventually going to feel like today. And I really think that that is how we're going to do it. We're going to move into our hearts first and then see the manifestation in our physical reality of that on an external level. And I think each individual, it's their offering to be able to step into that. And as more and more of us do, we also set an example for others, like, oh, okay, I can be my heart, and yes, be with the pain that means, right? Because stepping into your heart means feeling everything that's in there. So having that sweetness for yourself and taking the risk as much as you can is just such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, one thing that I really loved that Vagrant said, I don't know if you remember this or not, but basically it's not a challenge, it's an invitation. And that
Yeah.
that was really cool. That resonated with me deeply. So
We might have to change our name.
I was thinking, yeah, the Coherence Invitational.
Yeah.
Yeah, we invite everybody here to take this deep dive into the heart over these next 40 days. And we can't thank you enough, Jessicka, for
Thank
being here with
you.
us and
Thank
kicking
you
it
so
off.
much for having
That
me.
was so cool.
Yeah, I really loved what you said. And sometimes I feel like mistakenly you can think being coherent or in your heart is just being in every more positive feeling emotion, like gratitude, appreciation. But there is a way to be in love with all of our experiences and all of our emotions. And it's a different way, a more coherent way to sit with your pain, with your inner child, if you're doing that, just like in a position of love with everything. So I love that so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jessicka.
Yeah, thank you. And we hope that we meet with you again.
Absolutely.
We absolutely will. I'm sure of it.
Thank you. That was great.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to our next speaker here. How's everyone doing, by the way? Hope everyone's good. Give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying this. Beautiful. We love you all. This is amazing. All right. Welcome, Lyssa Royal Holt. We have also been hearing so many great things about you. We've been doing our research and we couldn't be happier to have you here with us. So welcome. If you want to introduce yourself, that would be so amazing.
Oh, so Mike isn't going to introduce me then.
I
Well, we
know.
could.
You know, I was thinking of setting it up where like the last person introduced the next person. I figured you guys probably do know each other, but I didn't want to put anybody under pressure. That's like the person before, and then they're like, oh, I didn't know I was gonna have to do this.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for the invitation. I so appreciate it. And I'm really excited to be here with my fellow channels as well, who were part of the Great Awakening book. Jesse, I have to say, I haven't met in person yet. I totally enjoyed your channeling. Thank you so much. And Daniel, I've known never in person, but we've known each other for years. So anyway, my introduction then is I'm never good at introducing myself. So if I skip something and you want to ask something, please ask.
Okay.
I started channeling next year. It will be 40 years ago, which
Wow.
shocked me because I still can't believe how fast everything has happened. But it began with a UFO sighting I had in 1979. That kind of shocked me awake, so to speak. And I was really young at that time. I mean, I was in college, and it just propelled me on this path of really wanting to know the truth of the universe. So eventually I ended up in Los Angeles in the 80s, met Daryl, another author in the book. He became a friend and a colleague. And of course, Bashar was a major mentor for me in the 80s. So the channeling happened at that time in the 80s, and it's just been continuing since that time. I've spent a lot of time actually channeling in Japan. It just kind of happened that way, so I'm there a lot. But I would say the focus of my channeling, of course, I know there's people watching this that know me and know I do a lot with extraterrestrial work. But the real focus with that is not to take us out of our human selves. It's not to as an escape. But actually, what I've learned through so many of the channelings that my ET contacts have given me is that our extraterrestrial family have also gone through a lot of the same challenges we're going through on Earth now. And so they can give us some of those perspectives because they've already gone through it. And for me, that's been a huge gift. It's enriched my life a tremendous amount. And so here we are now, 40 years later, and I never thought this would be my career, and I guess I have to admit it is now.
Oh, well, we're so happy you're here with us.
Great at
Yeah.
introducing yourself.
Yeah, that was so good. I would love to hear before you dive in, what are some of those perspectives from the extraterrestrials that have really been impactful to you?
Oh my gosh, how much time do we have? Each of our civilizations that we're connected to, each of the ET civilizations that we're connected to as a planet, have gone through a different way of their awakening. Some of it was very dramatic, like, for example, the Orion civilization. Some of it was less dramatic, like the Pleiadian civilization. And that's primarily the energy that I channel is the Pleiadian civilization. So one of the most important lessons that they've shared with me in the teachings has to do with something historically that happened to them as a species. So when they were at the place we are right now, they had a pattern that started to happen in their civilization where there was a type of a plague. It was some type of immune system disorder. And all of their healers and their experts could not solve it. And so then they had to turn to the spiritual connections in order to find the answer as to why this was happening for them. So they dived in really deeply using their shamans and their spiritual teachers. And what they discovered was that the reason for their plague was because they had refused to look at their shadows. not only refuse to look at the shadow, but refuse to love the shadow, refuse to include it as a valuable part of who they are. So they had to then go through this long, I guess long, she never said how long, but process of healing where they had to learn it was okay to welcome that part of themselves within themselves. And as they did, this deep integration happened within them, and they opened to a higher love, a higher love for the universe, a higher love for themselves. And that was the catalyst for their awakening.
Wow.
I love that. It reminds me of what we were just talking about, you know, loving your shadow.
Mhm.
So that fits in perfectly. I love saying it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to turn it over if you want to see what flows through. Be so excited to hear who
Okay,
comes through
sure.
and how they come through.
I know the ET thing can be weird for some people. So if any of you out there, you know, wonder about it, just listen to the message. Even 40 years later, there are parts of me that still think, is this really extraterrestrial? But in the end, it doesn't really matter because, as Mike was saying earlier, we are all part of the one. The one consciousness has billions of eyes, and that's how it expresses itself. So wherever the information is coming from is doesn't really matter. Okay, so I will go into the channeling state, and you'll see that I will close my eyes. It will just take a moment. It's kind of a trance state. So what happens for me is that it's very dreamlike. So when I wake up, I will remember it kind of like a dream, but over time it will fade away a little bit. So the being that you will listen to is, she calls herself Sasha. She began to channel through me in 1988 after some UFO experiences I had in Los Angeles. And I'll let her take it away then. It'll just be a moment. Greetings to everyone. This is Sasha. It is a pleasure and an honor to be with all of you today. The introduction that our channel gave you really set the stage, actually, for what we wish to talk about today with all of you. Because once you can see the path that another civilization took, perhaps, we hope, you can feel not so alone. Because each civilization, as it is going through its awakening process, generally has a catalyst or an experience that challenges them. And the challenge itself forces them to look into spaces within their own consciousness that perhaps they were not willing to look. And usually the answers are found in those spaces. So we'd like to take a particular angle with all of you today, which actually is connecting very well with what our colleagues who were speaking were talking about as well. And it has to do with this idea of the great awakening of the heart. The channel spoke about how my civilization experienced that great awakening. Of course, she told a short version of the story, but we think you got the gist of it. Now we can look at your civilization and what your challenges are as a civilization, which those challenges are also somewhat connected to other members of your galactic family as well. So in your civilization, one of the biggest challenges we have found is that in the darkest time of your civilization, you have experienced quite a split between what we can call the heart and the mind. And the civilization, your civilization, has allowed the mind to try to bring the heart along on the path of awakening. But the mind itself has really no power to activate the heart. So very often we have found with humans that the challenge is that they attempt to activate the heart through the mind. So we're going to give you perhaps another way of looking at it and some practical ideas. So we're going to talk about the idea, we believe Mike actually used this term as well, the idea of inclusion and what that means. So when a civilization is in their most separated period of evolution, that period of separation also creates periods of intense polarization. You're seeing that on your world now. And we know for many of you that seeing that intense polarization on your world is worrisome. And some of you may actually believe that that polarization is a sign that you are going in the wrong direction. However, we would see it a little bit differently, that the intense polarization you are seeing on your world right now is representing the final resistance to integration. And that integration then leads into the integration of mind and heart, which is where your strength as a species lies. And you will see that as you continue to unfold into the future. Okay, so how do you then get to this idea of integrating mind and heart? Are there practical ways that you can work as individuals with yourself and with society? The answer to that is yes, and we know we have a short period of time, so we're going to just give you something very, very simple to work with and to look at. So we said the theme is inclusion. What do we mean by that? First, let's look at the external world. You see on your world that there are many people with many opinions, many types of behavior, many belief systems, and all of that. And sometimes for those beings that perhaps are diametrically opposed to where you stand in your view of reality, it can be very difficult to include them or include their energy into your heart space. So how can you do that? Now, the mind certainly is not the mechanism that can do it. So simply saying to yourself, I bless them and I bring them into my heart doesn't really do that. But there is one doorway that is extremely powerful that you can utilize as a way to bring those with whom you may not like their opinions, but you recognize they are part of the one. You can bring them into your heart space. So it has to do with, let's say, we'll give you an example. There is someone out there, maybe politically, maybe religiously, maybe just in relationship, that you just cannot resonate with, that it seems as if you can't connect with that person and you don't understand where that person is coming from. What the heart can recognize, however, is a resonance through compassion with that person's pain. So if someone is acting out in a polarized or painful or judgmental way, the way to connect and then include their energy in your heart space is through the compassion or the resonance with the pain that they have that is causing that behavior. It doesn't mean you even have to understand what their pain is. But if you are quiet, if you are still, you will be able to feel it. And once you allow yourself to just feel it and recognize it within that other person, it is an automatic heart connection. It doesn't mean you have to accept them into your reality. It doesn't mean you have to accept them maybe even to abuse you in your reality. It simply means that you are recognizing their pain. And that is enough to shift the dynamic. Now, if we flip this, we were talking about the external world now. If we flip this to the idea of your internal world, and actually some of you were also talking about this today as well, these ideas we are about to share. It has to do with the challenges that you have within yourself. Maybe there are things you judge about yourself. Maybe you feel guilt about something that you have done in the past. Maybe for whatever reason, you cannot love yourself. So this practice of inclusion then is also relevant for bringing into your heart space the part of yourselves that you have rejected. Now, this goes back to the story that the channel told about my civilization and how we shoved our shadows, shoved our darkness under the rug or in the closet, metaphorically speaking. And all of that suppressed energy created a tremendous crisis in my civilization. So this is an example of how we did not allow inclusion within our heart space for all of our complete being, that we were maintaining this idea of polarity because we didn't really understand the byproduct of separating in that way. So when our shamans and our priestesses recognized the truth and helped us to begin to integrate the shadow within us, this was a practice of inclusion for us on an internal level. Because then we were able to include within our heart space that which we had rejected about ourselves, allow it then to come in and home within ourselves for healing. And what happens from that point on is a tremendously powerful alchemy of transformation. So then our recommendation for all of you, as you are navigating, Michael calls it the jungles of time and space. Yes, we love how that is an expression maybe of how it feels on your world right now, that you are indeed navigating a jungle. That this is perhaps a way for you to navigate this perilous time on your world by recognizing when there is an experience, whether it is external or whether it is internal, that is an experience where you are not including, where you are excluding. And that will always give you a clue or a key to where you can work to create that alchemy that you seek for planetary transformation. If enough people on your world practiced this kind of practice, you couldn't help but transform as a species, because you all know the 100th monkey effect. If enough of you do it, it creates a magnetic force, so to speak, that brings along those that maybe don't feel as strong to do it themselves, but are willing to transform. And then transformation happens. It's not usually overnight, my friends, but you are well on your way to, as Michael said, the epic, we'll use the word epic, the epic transformation of all transformations on your world. You are so very close, even though it feels like you have miles and miles to go. So stay the course, my friends. Do your inner work and trust that you are creating a momentum for integration and awakening with every step you take through this process. And we will send each and every one of you all of our love. And of course, it does not even need to be stated that you have a lot of help in the unseen realms. For now, for today, we hope you can feel our love and know we are embracing each one of you. Thank you for this opportunity, and we take our leave now with love.
Wow, that was so powerful. We definitely felt your love, and so did our dog.
Yeah.
Oh.
As he's worked his way over here to join us now. Oh, there was so much. I love that so much. There were so many beautiful parts to take away from that. Yeah.
Yes, I loved, the thing of when you're having a challenge with somebody, that the thing you can connect with is compassion for their pain.
Yeah, that's what that resonated so deeply with me too.
That's helped me a lot, actually,
Yeah. Well,
that piece of
everybody,
wisdom.
yeah, everybody, you have some wisdom to take forth with you now. So that was phenomenal. I'd love to hear before we pass it on to Daniel, how can our following and everyone here get in touch with you? And what are those books behind you? Very curious.
Okay. The books behind me are just a few of the books that I have. One is called Prism of Lyra, which was written 30 years ago. And this talks about our galactic family and basically who they are and all of us moving back to the one. This is the newest book, The Golden Lake, which was released in 2019. There's a lot of awakening wisdom in here, I would say. Of course, they're all available on Amazon. And the other thing is the Galactic Heritage cards, which is an oracle deck of cards that assist us with not just knowing our extraterrestrial connections, but a lot of the awakening lessons that our civilizations had. Our family had as well. So in order to get in touch with me, you can go to the website. It's www.lyssa, royal.net, royal.net, Instagram at Lyssa_channelings_official, Facebook, etc., etc. Yes, what else?
That was really cool.
That was good. Thank
Love
you.
meeting Sasha. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, there was so many things. And if anybody wants to do this, it's been really good for me when I'm listening to the various channels to just sit and be breathing in and out of my heart. And really, because there's so much that's really happening. It's like a huge download to try to process, but that's been
Well,
really
they do say that the words are just the
Right.
basic of the download they're giving you guys, so you're getting a huge energy package too.
Oh, we're soaking it in. Thank you, Lyssa,
Yeah.
so much. This was great. And we have Daniel next.
Yeah, you said you knew him, so would you like to introduce him?
Well, I don't know him very well. I just like
No
him.
pressure.
He's
No
a great networker. He got me connected with Mike too, which Jesse said the same thing. So Daniel is known all over the world for his, honestly, I don't know how he does this. Every single day he releases these channelings. I am in awe of that because I don't have the energy for that. But he's a beautiful being. I'm looking forward to meeting him in person at the channel panel in Sedona in January, finally. So everyone, Daniel Scranton, channel extraordinaire.
Thank you,
Thank you
Lyssa.
so much again.
And welcome, Daniel. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Sorry, that's our fault. There we go.
That's right. I'm used to running these Zoom calls, not being a participant in them. Yeah, thank you, Lyssa. I'm such a fan of Lyssa's work and Daryl's work and everybody, all the channelers who are here. it's so great to be included in this group and such an honor to be here. So I'm humbled in the presence of these other amazing teachers.
Thank you for being here. We'd love to hear you tell us a little bit about yourself and who you channel to start. That'd be great.
Well, like Lyssa said, I wasn't looking to become a channel. I was more of a consumer of channeled material to such an extent. I was kind of a fanatic in it. And yes, my language is English. Soon. Wait till you hear. Yeah. So yeah, it just all started happening in 2010. I also had a UFO sighting, like Lyssa and Daryl had UFO sightings while in LA. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about those when we meet in Sedona. Yeah, and the channeling thing happened through Reiki and just me being a daily meditator for over 10 years. You know, I had to meditate. It wasn't something I was trying to achieve anything other than feeling like a normal person. That's all I was hoping to do through meditation. And it brought, I think, this ability to focus. And so when I would do Reiki on people, all these weird things started happening, and I embraced it all. You know, I was never afraid of any of it. I never thought it could ever possibly be a bad thing. And when I teach channeling, I always tell people that too, is how can anything bad happen when all I'm encouraging you to do in these channeling classes is raise your vibration? You know, you can't possibly be making yourself vulnerable to something that's negative when you're normally vibrating here, and you're taking yourself up here to where you can be on the same wavelength or a similar wavelength to what's up here. And that's, in a nutshell, what I think channeling is. It's just tuning yourself to a different vibration so that what's available to all of us all the time, because everyone can channel and I think is channeling, it's available if you raise your vibration. That which is of a higher mind, of a higher consciousness, can then become a part of your brain, the receiver of all of this, and it comes in. And the reason when I channel sometimes I do this is the two hemispheres of the brain are syncing up through that motion and becoming one brain as opposed to two separate brains. So I could just talk on and on about channeling, but that's how it all started with me. I was lucky enough to have a conversation with Abraham of Abraham Hicks about a month before I started channeling, and they told me that I would do it and that I just had to keep moving in the direction I was going in, and that was all I needed to hear. And so back in the fall of 2010, that's when I brought through the creators for the first time. And after I brought them through, I discovered all these other wonderful channelers like Wendy Kennedy, who could channel all these different beings. And that opened my mind to the possibility that I could channel more than just the creators. And I started bringing through all these other beings, including the Arcturian Council, who I channel for that Great Awakening book that we're all here talking about. So my channeling of the Arcturian Council in that book, I had to reread it to do the audio portion of the book, and I have to say I was impressed. Rarely am I impressed by my own channeling. It's not, I don't have a big ego when it comes to this, but when I was reading, I was like, oh, this is good. This is good. And of course, everybody else who contributed to it as well, like I said, I'm a fan of. So I think it's a beautiful compilation of channeled material.
That was such a great explanation of channeling and what happens. And we would love to have you do the Stevie Wonder or whatever it is that you do.
Exactly. Well, we talked about by email, I would do like a meditation. So I thought, a heart centering meditation, and the perfect being or collective consciousness really for that, I think, is Archangel Michael. So I'm going to bring in Archangel Michael, and they're going to give us a few tones and several yeses, and then they'll lead us in this meditation. Okay, here I go. Yes, yes, Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome. We are here to serve and assist you. We invite you to move your consciousness from your head into your heart. We invite you to feel for your heart as more than just an organ, more than just a place where you sometimes feel love, joy, or excitement. We invite you to feel for the consciousness of your heart as its own mind, as having access to all dimensions, all beings, including source energy. And we invite you to ground more fully into your heart by grounding your heart's energy down into your Mother Earth. Focus on the center of your heart and feel for the light that exists at your very core, your heart center. See that light and feel that light extending itself down from your heart center through your body to the soles of your feet. And feel that energy extending out from the soles of your feet, spiraling down through the floor and into Mother Earth's soil. Feel your heart energy traveling down through the many layers of Mother Earth to get to her core and ground the consciousness of your heart into Mother Earth's core. Feel the heart of Mother Earth rising up through the light to connect to you, to your physical form, and to your heart center. And now we invite you to extend that light from the center of your heart out in all directions, moving out across the surface of Mother Earth to all other human beings, plants, and animals. All consciousness of the rocks, of the minerals, of the crystals. Feel yourself connecting as your whole self, your true self, to the core, to the heart of all other beings that you share your beautiful world with. And now, we invite you to reach up with that light and that love from your heart. Allow it to rise up from your heart center, up through the crown of your head, and connect to your sun, the light of your solar system, and feel your connection to that beautiful being that is the source of the light and the warmth on your world. Feel yourself connecting now from within the heart center into the deepest realms within you. Feel there to be a portal in the center of your heart that connects you to source, to all dimensions, to all higher frequency beings of love and light. And feel yourself becoming one with all that is in the higher realms, including the source of us all. Feel your heart as the connection point that brings in all the light, all the love, all the life force energy that you use to navigate through your life experience. And we invite you to go forth now throughout the rest of your day and your evening with this connection, with this feeling of love for all, connection to all, and heart resonance with all that is. We are Michael. We are infinite. We are love. Did that come through okay, sound-wise?
Let's go.
It came in great. Thank
Okay,
you.
I know that I
Amazing.
speak in sort of like a Batman voice when I speak for Archangel Michael. It's not intentional. It's just how they come through, and so I did my best to project everything.
No need for apologies, man. That was so good.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I especially loved having, ingraining like the heart has access to all the dimensions, all the angels, everything. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful to consider the infinity that also goes within, just as we can more easily imagine infinity going outward in all directions, but there's also infinitesimal smallness, and this area within ourselves we can reach within there and keep going on and on. So it's quite a beautiful experience, and I always feel more present, more grounded, more expansive whenever I connect within my own heart space. And I know that I need to do it more, just like everybody probably needs to focus more on that heart center for all that connection that's available to us all the time.
Well, we'd
Yeah, well,
love
that's
to,
what we're doing we've got some opening ceremony, and then for 30 days, that'll be exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, before
Yeah.
we turn it over to our brother Brian Scott, we'd love to just hear how we can get in touch with you. Anybody here can, find you.
Well, I do have a website, and it's my name, danielscranton.com. And of course, I'm on YouTube, which is also my YouTube channel is just my name, Daniel Scranton. And I'm always offering classes, courses, events I'm doing, like the channel panel, which is coming up in January with Lyssa and Daryl and a host of other channels. So there's always a lot to do if people want to get in touch with me. And the free meditation on my website that you get when you sign up for my newsletter is another much longer guided meditation with Archangel Michael, and it's set to New Age music that was created specifically for that meditation.
Thank you so much. We'd definitely love to have you back on sometime, as well as all the channels that have come on so far. This has been amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
So now we're going to go to our friend who is been open. He's been a part of our opening ceremony now for years. Every time we have a challenge, Brian so graciously comes on and does a meditation. So he's joining us today. Brian has the most amazing YouTube channel in the world, The Reality Revolution. He's a dear friend of ours. We love him. If you haven't gone to his channel yet, do it. And he has the best guided meditations. So welcome, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me, Kyle.
Thanks for being with us. It's a tradition that you do a meditation with us.
Got to do it. Yeah.
We all love you.
Yeah. So turn it over to you, my brother.
Let's see. The purpose of today's meditation is to set the intention for the next 30 days and to come together as a group, to join together with a unified heart, beyond just the individual hearts, to connect to the unified heart of this group. When we talk about heart coherence, there's another level to heart coherence in every group, in every family, and even the world. And if we can come into coherence with our minds and our universal hearts, then we can literally do anything that we put our minds to. We can serve others, we can help, we can increase the love on this planet. And so our intention is to join together in this moment in love and unison. So take a moment and just relax and let go of the outside world just for a few minutes. We've already felt so much love in this meeting just today. The wonderful, beautiful words of Michael. Feel that love flowing through you. Sarah Landon likes to call it, it's a liquid love, and it is tangible and powerful, and I want you to feel it because it is there. Open yourself up to it and allow this liquid love to flow in through your crown and up through your feet, flowing into every cell, every fiber of your being. It feels so good. And as this seeps into your body, as you sit here in unison with all of us together, you know that you are safe. All is well. You are protected. And just breathe into this security and safety, knowing that everything's okay in this moment. Bring your focus to your heart. You can put your hand on your heart if that helps. Feel the beating of your heart. Slow down your breath. Breathe in for 5 seconds. And breathe out for 5 seconds. As you breathe in, you can feel this liquid love filling your body. And as you breathe out, you let go of any tension that you might be holding in your body that is blocking this liquid love from entering into every part of your body. It feels so good. Begin to breathe in through your heart. Feels so good to breathe into your heart. Bring your consciousness and your mind to your heart and think from your heart. It is an entirely different way of being, a new level of consciousness. You can feel every subatomic particle in the entire universe within your heart, stretching out, eons, galaxies away, all linked together And for this moment, I want you to reach out through your heart and join the hearts of everyone that's meditating together in this moment, this powerful moment. We share this energy together. We are one being. I want you to see from your heart, hands reaching out, grasping those around you, connecting to all the people that are meditating together. You'll feel the energy rise, your vibration level going up. And together, we bring about a feeling of joy. I want you to focus on joy, and I want you to remember joy. Do you remember the first time you were joyful? Do you remember the most recent time you felt true joy? Create this joy, that warmth in your belly, beating of your heart, goosebumps. Feel it flowing through you. Elevate your emotion in this moment, but feel it flowing through our hands and arms to everyone in this group. And it is our intention to become coherent with our hearts and minds, to learn the lessons of love, to expand our consciousness and shift into a new earth, a new beginning in which we think from our hearts. Feel this connection. Together we can do anything. We can solve any problem. We can change anything we want. Together we are unstoppable. And in this moment, just feel this love and intelligence flowing through you. You are a conduit for this love. And if you are just going to be who you are, everywhere you go, you change the world. Everywhere you go, you will see a reflection of this love all around you, in every plant, in every insect, everywhere. Feel and connect to this. And together with our intention, we intend for the next 30 days to learn, to expand, to grow, and to love. I want you to carry this feeling with you. Give yourself an anchor. Touch your thumb and forefinger together. And anytime you do that, you instantly bring yourself back to this shared moment. You feel this connection. We are one. And feel this connection growing beyond just this group, into your city and state, into the whole entire world. Feel this liquid love flowing throughout every soul on this planet. Let's send our light to Kyle and Leah to aid them in this process, and to those that come forward and speak with them. Make this a special place, a safe place, our home to learn and expand, to grow into this higher level of consciousness and into our heart. When you come back, slowly come back to your consciousness. Do not forget this feeling. It is always available for you. Stay in tune with your heart and feel yourself broadcasting this wonderful feeling to everyone you meet. Thank you for having me, Kyle. Welcome to the Reality Revolution.
Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I hear it every night when I do my night.
I gotta say that.
Thank you, brother. We love you so much, man.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm sure you talked about it more, but it looks like you got some great guests coming up. Super excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
We have a week-long opening ceremony coming up ahead. Tomorrow night we have Ben Holt doing some breath work. But all week, Sarah Landon's going to come on and do a live channeling. If you haven't plugged in, definitely, how can everyone get in touch with us just to know what's going on? We're going to send out emails, subscribe to our YouTube because everything's going to go to YouTube. This will be uploaded to YouTube. We also post everything in our Facebook group.
Heart
So,
Coherence Collaborative.
yeah. Yeah. So thank you, brother.
Thank you for everything that you do, Kyle. You're changing the world, and I really, really appreciate you creating this place for us to come together. Thank you so much. It means a
Yeah.
lot.
We love you. And yeah, everyone else can hang on for a little bit. We'll go over some basics of just how the challenge works. I know you got to run, Brian, so thank you so much, man.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, basically for me, heart coherence was something that really, I could say, saved my life. You know, it came to me at a time where I was lost, I was hopeless, and I was living by the hormones of stress, just pretty much fearful of everything. And I came across Joe Dispenza's book where he talks about heart coherence. And through practicing that, I started to feel good. Took a little while. So the one thing that I'll say to everybody here is if you're new to heart coherence, if you're new to this journey with your heart, if today didn't feel easy, don't give up. It took me a little while to actually soften my heart and feel some of these amazing feelings that people are feeling. But, you know, Leah and I created this group together to find ways to hold ourselves and all our friends and our family and our community accountable in achieving this state of heart coherence, in building this relationship with the heart. And it is, to me, one of the most important parts of my life today is this relationship I have with our heart. So that's what we are inviting you to come do with us over the next 40 days, whether you already have a phenomenal relationship with your heart or you have no relationship with your heart. Wherever you're at on that journey, this 40 days is going to be really special for you.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are really stuck in our mind in a bad way. And, you know, whenever I first learned that the heart sends more information to the brain than the brain does to the heart, it just seemed like a really, like if you can make it easier, then why not do it? Why not do this super simple practice that will affect really every area of your life, that will help your sleep, your stress, your relationships.
Yeah.
You can really use it in every single aspect of life. And the thing about anything that works is that it's really hard to just do it.
Yeah.
So this is such a great time to set a new habit for 30 days because there's a million things that really work, but none do unless you do them. So this will be great to do this all together.
Yeah, and there's plenty of time. The other reason we wanted to do this week-long opening ceremony is so we could build the energy and you can invite your friends. If you know anybody that needs some healing, could use some extra support, some love, please invite your friends to join this challenge, heartcoherencecollaborative.com. Just send them the link. And yeah, we you know, you heard from Lyssa about the 100th monkey effect. If we all do this, who knows? It could have an effect on everyone out there. So one of the other things that I just wanted to add is we do this week-long opening ceremony. All the events will be on this Zoom. And then when the challenge starts, we send you a meditation every day. But we also, like before these challenge starts, so we've been recording for the past few months, but we ask our hearts, who should we have on as guests? And not everything's about the heart, but we're going to be having on all these different guests as part of this event that are talking about everything in the world. Some are talking about nutrition, you know, some are talking about forgiveness, whatever it is. We just asked our hearts who we should have on, and the coolest people are coming on. Do you have anything you want to add on some of our guests? Or?
No, I just want to say that I think the great intention for this challenge is that we be more connected, and that's why we're doing a bunch of live events. And it's going to be really great to be with each other. And I also think, you know, especially if you're new and you might be struggling to get into more renewing emotions as you're trying to practice coherence, it's a really great thing to just send love to everybody in this group. A lot of times it's easier to think about sending love and compassion to others. So as much as you can when we're going through think of everyone. There's tens of thousands of people doing this challenge. And I always just love to send love to everybody in our group. And I think it's a cool way to have an easier time with practice.
Yeah, so you want to do that now?
Let's do it.
We're gonna go out by sending love to everyone in the group.
Oh, you know what I would really love to do is if we just did some heart coherence breathing and everybody think about their intention for this challenge. And then we're going to unmute everybody and we'll all say our intention out loud.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, so hold on. You want to guide something first? And
Yeah.
then-
So
okay.
you can work on unmuting people or figuring it out. Just let yourself really drop into your body. So you may have spent a lot of today in your head. Feel yourself in your feet. Let the feeling of relaxation come up into your calves. Let your presence go into your thighs, into where you're sitting. Feel rooted. Feel there. And let your belly get soft as you breathe a nice big breath, filling it out like a balloon. And then exhaling all the way to the bottom of your exhale. And now taking a nice deep breath, expanding your whole chest. And as you breathe that breath out, relax your shoulders. Let a wave of relaxation go all the way through your arms to your fingertips. You can let yourself roll your neck a little bit as you bring some ease to your shoulders and neck. And then imagine the space of your head is filled with a soft pink light that relaxes and softens all of your thoughts, all of your stresses in your mind. And then put your attention on your heart. You can put your hand on your heart if that's an easy way for you to bring attention. And begin to imagine your breath flowing in and out of your heart. If that sounds weird to you, just kind of imagine you're used to imagining your breath going down into your lungs. Just imagine and focus on the breath going into the heart area just the same. So breathing in and out, 5 or 6 seconds in and then out, slower and deeper, and letting that breath relax your whole body. And call to mind a place that brings you ease. It could be imaginary or real. You can imagine yourself onto a beach or at a relative's house. And just breathe in the feeling of ease.
Oh,
Okay, so take some last breaths in and out, breathing in the feeling of ease into your heart. And then let your intention for this challenge, this invitation, bubble up. What would you love to manifest or have happen? Or what feeling would you like to have more of in your life? Whatever the intention is, let that bubble up. And then in just a moment, we're going to unmute everybody. And then we're all going to say our intention out loud and really hold everybody's intention together.
you ready?
Did you unmute them?
Oh no, I didn't do my job.
That was your only job.
I know. Just so everyone knows, Leah is a hypnotherapist. She's
With
pretty
a scratchy voice, like
Yeah,
only some
both
person
going
can-
through a little bit of something, but yeah, she's a hypnotherapist. And she put me right down to sleep, but yeah, she's really good at what she does. So um, I'm going to allow everyone to unmute themselves. On the count of 3, we will all say our intention for this challenge.
Is everybody unmuted?
We'll
Let's
give
wait
everyone a
minute.
second to unmute.
Unmute yourself.
Everybody unmute.
Yeah.
All right,
Love
awesome.
and
On
compassion.
the count of 3, we're all going to yell our
Love, 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 love.
Please.
I
feel loved. Yes, love.
Healing and sharing.
So much love. So much love. Love, love, love. So much love.
More connectedness, more
Love, healing. Much love. Love, love, love.
Integration, unification.
Love is all there is.
Love and healing.
Love is all you need.
Yes.
Love,
Into a song.
love.
Love gracefully healing.
A partner who loves the work and travel, enjoys other people surrounding, is
Love.
Love.
involved in spirit work, Stargate.
For as long as it's happening.
Love.
But we'll see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern.
That I can do it.
Love you guys.
And so it is.
Guys.
Thank you.
So it is.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
It was beautiful.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Love you all.
You.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, that was
Hmm.
Thank you.
good. Lyssa, I see you.